Okay, it's very cold outside. I don't know why I came outside now. Okay, so before every rotation, the doctors, they always come up to you and they ask you, like, how confident are you? Do you feel pretty confident in medicine? Like, do you feel like you could go talk to patients alone? Can you present patients alone? Can you do diagnostic stuff on your own? And what I've come to now, because I'm kind of nearing the end of where I'm at, is I just say yes. You know, I just say yes. I just like, yeah, I can do it, whatever, I can do this. On this family medicine rotation, they send us to urgent care. So if you don't know what urgent care is like halfway in between the regular doctor's office and the emergency room. So there's this guy, they say there's this guy who comes in kind of with back pain, and you know, back pain's a really general thing, and the first thing I remember is like, okay, all back pain is solved within 6 weeks, like 90% of back pain is solved within 6 weeks. Don't scan them, don't scan them, don't scan them. 50% are solved within a week. So that's kind of in my head. And then on the other side, I'm also thinking like, okay, wait, but there are bad things that can happen too. Like if they have difficulty going to the bathroom, like bowel or bladder issues or something like that, that can mean it's like a really serious like nerve issue, right? Because the nerves kind of in your spine also control those kind of things. The nerves in your spine also control your heart and things like that too. So you have to make sure that none of those serious, scary things are going on, because if they are going on, then they probably need to go to the ED, possibly have some more significant measures taken to kind of make sure they're okay. Anyway, so keep in mind, again, day 2, urgent care. I've been given the vital signs. All the vital signs are normal. So I knock on the door as I always do, and I'm like, and the first thing I notice, and the first thing that kind of takes me back, because normally they're just sitting in the chair, right, is this guy. He's probably like a middle-aged guy, and he's just like pacing really fast back and forth across the room. He's not like, because normally when you're pacing like on the phone, you know, it's kind of lackadaisical, you're kind of chilling out. But this guy was really pacing. He's like really moving back and forth across the room, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's, he's really, I'm gonna use this zipper kind of to protect me from the wind here, see if it sounds better. But he's really moving, so that took me back a little bit. I'm like, okay, so my name is Zach, I'm a medical student. I'm gonna talk to you for like 10 minutes to see what's going on, and then the attending physician will go on from there. He's like, okay, my back really hurts. I'm like, okay, like what's going on, what happened? And he's like, you know, I was moving some stuff the other day, and I felt kind of a twinge in my back. But it wasn't anything too crazy, so I went home, I went to bed, and then I woke up this morning, and it was really hurting. Like it hurt like a lot. And it almost hurts so much to lay down or sit down that I don't do it. That's why I keep walking around. He says I took Tylenol, I took aspirin, and kind of nothing did anything. So I'm like, okay, like I remember the OPQ-RST with onset, provocation, quality, radiation, severity. And I was like, oh wait, I know this thing. Like I just did that now, I'm amazed. And that's kind of the theme again of this. But I was like, okay, so when it started yesterday, did anything make it better or worse? Okay, he says that when he lays down, it makes it better or worse. Quality, so I was like, what does it feel like? He's like, it's like someone stabbing me. And I was like, where does it go? Does the pain go anywhere? He says, it radiates kind of down the left side of my leg a little bit, and it's like really sharp in my back. So in my mind, I'm instantly thinking things like herniation, right? So herniation, I'm thinking, because that's going to be right in the small part of his back, it's kind of going to go down the side and things like that. Okay, so that's the first thing in my head. The next thing that's in my head is, of course, you have to ask the kind of scary or red flag symptoms, they call these, which is like, have you any difficult urination, going to the bathroom, any kind of things like that? Do you still have feelings in your legs? Can you walk? Do you have any paralysis or anything like that? He says, no, my back really hurt. And he's, keep in mind, he's just running across the room, pacing back and forth. And almost like my head's starting to hurt because I'm just looking back and forth at him so much. Eventually I'm like, okay, you need to do the exam, right? So I was like, are you okay? Like, can you like go take a seat on the chair here? He's like, yeah, I guess I can do it. And he struggles up to go sit on the chair. You know, I listen to his heart, lungs. And then I'm thinking, wait a second, I should probably do a neuro exam, right? Because if you're doing a neuro exam, because the spine is part of your neurological system, right? I think I've learned that, or hopefully I've learned that as much in my 3rd year. So I start to do the neuro exam, right? His pupils are equal. He can look in both directions. You know, he can stick his tongue out. He can scrunch his forehead up. He can move his face around. He feels the different parts of his face. He's coordinated in his arms. The strength in his shoulders is good. The strength in his arms is good. He can move them. He can close his eyes. He can stand up and close his eyes and not lose his balance. He's coordinated. All these kind of little things that I've learned kind of over the past kind of 8 months now, kind of actually doing stuff. And I'm like thinking as I'm like, wait a second, I kind of have an idea of what's going on. I kind of think I know what's going on. And then, because I know that the most commonly like herniated place kind of is around between L3, L5, and also S1 and S2, I start to focus my exam kind of around there. And I push on his back, and his back hurts. And I'm like, oh my God, your back hurts. And I didn't say that, but I smiled. But he didn't look at me, so he wasn't looking at me. It was good, but I smiled. I was like, okay, I think I know. I think I'm thinking what's going on. And it kind of hurt when I pushed right around L3, L4. So I was like, in my head now, I'm thinking, okay, L3, L4 herniation, what do I have to think of now? I know L4, kick the door. And that's kind of just one of these mnemonics that I learned in L4 is kind of this nerve that controls your knees. So the knees kind of, and the ways you can test this L4 nerve, or you can do things called the patellar reflex, which is kind of the classic thing with your knee moving like this. You can also check the strength, so they push against it. And they also, L4 innervates a dermatome. And a dermatome is just this part of the skin that is innervated by this certain level of nerves. So I know that kind of the dermatome that innervates kind of L4 kind of goes across the front of the leg, then it comes around the side of the leg, and then it wraps around the front. So I know that's what it does with this dermatome L4. And I'm even talking, so I'm like, wait a second, I just want to Google it to make sure it is this dermatome. So as I'm talking to him, I feel like a real person. I'm like, hold it, I need to type something in. And he thinks I'm typing notes, really, but really I'm typing into Google dermatomes of the body. So I'm typing into Google dermatomes, and when I look it up, I'm like, yeah, I got it. That's the L4 dermatome. I know what that is. Keep in mind, this guy's like still kind of, he's on the table at this point. He still is kind of doing those kind of things. So he's on the table at this point, and I say, okay, I'm going to do the reflexes thing because I know L4 is the patellar reflex, and I can do the reflex. So he says it kind of goes down the left side of his leg a little bit. So I'm like, okay. So I do the tap on kind of his patellar tendon right here, and I'm hoping that'll elicit the reflex. And it elicits kind of a tiny reflex on his left leg. And then I go to his right leg, which isn't hurting at all. And I do the tap, and it's a big reflex. It's like a kick. It's like a pretty big kick. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. So I do it again. It's kind of a little kick on the left side, and then it's a big kick on the right side. I'm like, aha, Zach might be right. Zach might be right here. So I notice that. And then I say, okay, kind of push against, because your quadricep kind of, and the patellar tendon here is kind of also innervated by this L3 part. So I'm like, push against my leg, like kick up, extend, almost like you're doing leg extensions at the gym, right? Can you do that? And he's pushing at me with his left leg, and he's kind of a little weaker on that side. And he pushes his right leg, is really strong. Like I can't even hold down his right leg. I'm like, something's going on. And then what I do to kind of even do it more is I'm like, okay, can you feel this on your left leg? He's like, yeah, I can kind of feel that. How about right leg? He's like, yeah, I feel that. And then I go around where this dermatome is, which I just looked the picture up here. And he's like, oh wait, I don't feel that as much as I do on the right side. So I'm like, I think I got this. This doctor, supervising doctor, is gonna be so impressed. I should ask him for a letter of recommendation. I'm gonna solve all medical maladies ever. I'm a genius, right? And these thoughts are swirling in my head, and I'm feeling so confident. I even start to educate the patient, right? I'm like, so have you had any kind of surgeries in the past about like these spinal surgeries or something like that? He's like, yeah, I had spinal surgery in the past. I'm like, classic. I'm like, where did you have it, like L3, L4? He's like, yeah, something around that. So then what I do is I pull around the screen, and you pull around the screen, and you can show the person, like, listen, like this is the screen of what's going on, and you can see on the screen like what kind of these dermatomes are, the kind of low and all these kind of stuff. So what I'm doing is kind of the classical doctor's office thing, right? I'm like, you take a look at this picture, and I show him the picture, which I Googled like about 10 minutes ago, and I'm like, notice this is kind of your L4 dermatome. It kind of wraps around. He's like, yeah, I've noticed that I have a little bit less feeling on there and stuff like that. I'm like, listen, this is what we're probably gonna have to do. We might have to do some kind of corticosteroids. You're gonna have to go see your orthopedic doctor and all this kind of stuff, and I'm feeling great. I go out to the attending doctor, and he's like, okay, Zach, like what's going on? And I smash through my presentation, and I'm like X-year-old male, past medical history of spinal surgery at around the L3, L4 area, also history of congestive heart failure, who comes in kind of for back pain. So he says he was moving boxes like a day ago. He noticed a twinge like in his back, but he didn't really do anything much for it. And then he went to sleep, and he woke up this morning kind of with very severe pain. He says it's been going down the left side of his leg. It's been difficult to sit or lay down, and kind of he's just been moving around constantly. And then he came in to here. And then on physical exam, kind of his lungs were normal, his heart sounds were normal. Neurologically, kind of cranial nerves 2 through 12 were intact. All these kind of fancy words that I'm learning. I'm like, wait, I think I'm sounding pretty good. And then I get to the cool part, which is the physical exams of the legs and the neuro exam of the legs. I'm like, yeah, like he had about 1+ reflexes on his like left patellar reflex, and about 2+ reflex on his right patellar reflex. And also the sensation across kind of the L4 dermatome on his left leg were kind of not as intense intact as we're on the right side of the sensation. Also the strength in his legs. He's maybe had 4 out of 5 strength of leg extension on his left side, but 5 out of 5 extension on his right side. Maybe this is some kind of herniated disc, because he's had a herniated disc in the past, blah, blah. And I think we should give him a course of corticosteroids. He should go see his orthopedic doctor and see kind of what the orthopedic doctor wants to do. And the attending physician's like, yeah, Zach, that's pretty good. That sounds pretty good. Let's go talk to him and do that. And I was like, are you kidding? Like, what? I was like, are you kidding me? So that was kind of the case of what happened. But I just wanted to tell that story because I don't know, I feel like all my other stories before, all these hospital stories thing kind of, I wanted to know what it was like to be in med school. Kind of I dreamed about doing it for so long, and I thought it would just be so cool to be like, wait, you get to, like, in school, you get to actually talk to patients and like figure things out and like use a stethoscope. I'm like, that's insane. That's crazy. And like now I feel a little bit more confident. Like I feel a little bit what I know what I'm doing, and I feel like I can help people a little bit, maybe not that much, but occasionally, right? One of the reasons I make these videos is just kind of show because I wish someone made these or more videos like this kind of when I was looking about going into medicine, because I wanted to know what it was like actually in med school. And guess what? In med school, you actually get to see patients, you actually get to use your stethoscope, you actually get to do a physical exam, you actually get to go to the OR and all these kind of things. And also there was a thing that's happened kind of that I've noticed in the past kind of 8 months in my very beginning to this medical career, right? I've had about 5 or 6 of these moments where I'm like, oh my God, like this is a really important time I'm with someone. Like I maybe am actually helping this person, not by my medical care or like what I'm doing like with science and all this kind of stuff, but by just being there for the person, for being there to talk to someone. And I just didn't expect that to happen. And it's kind of, it's amazing. And that's I guess all I can say to it, because I think you really need to have these experiences. It's hard to put them to words. But yeah, this hospital stories thing has kind of turned into me saying how like happy I am right now, because the first 2 years of med school are okay, but this 3rd year for sure is like much, much better. Like I get to do the thing that I've wanted to do forever, and it's so cool. You get to be with people alone. They like are with you. You can actually help them, like not maybe by medical stuff, but you probably will help them with medical stuff. Like I've caught an error or two from like my supervising doctors, but mainly like just being the person there to talk to them is just huge, especially because they're a lot of times in a really delicate like part of their life. They're sick, they could be dying soon, and you're the person there with them, especially with COVID and everything recently, with people not being able to like come and see their family members and stuff like that. It's a really kind of awesome experience like that you can have. The security people haven't kicked me out. I'm kind of frozen kind of from my legs about to my hips right now, so I should probably move. But yeah, again, more long-winded than I thought it would be. I just wanted to say that because it's cool. It's really, really cool. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.